Hello, we are Sornia. Always a pleasure to be here, offering guidance and support. Support, yes, you understand that support. Thank you, as always, for everything that you are all doing. We will try to be as concise as possible here today because there are things that are really moving rapidly below the surface, but you may all be feeling them. So, your involvement in this process of awakening that is happening on your planet is necessary, but you're not privy to all the information while your consciousness is embedded in human form. You may get inklings, you may get intuitive insights, but a lot of times you are just in the dark. And our love for you and our appreciation for all of you still showing up every day, even though you don't know when you are in human form what these processes are, what is going on, but you're just doing it because you know that you need to do this. That is what we are so appreciative of, and it is so valuable. And knowing that, we want to also just tell all of you that it is good, it is moving forward. What do we mean by it? This awakening is moving forward. It has to be the way it is going. Many of you understand this perfectly well, but what we want from you is that you stay as open, receptive, and fluid as possible during the coming months, even if things are looking quite scary, shaky. We don't know. Each of you is going to interpret your world through your own personal human perspective. But even that is changing. So we don't want to say, oh, buckle your seatbelts, be aware, but we want you to be aware of the shifting that is occurring. It's very rapid, so that you can go with the flow, as you say. There will be a lot of that. And stay out of fear. This is something that you will want to be showing others. Remember, you are the example. We want to tell you, to remind you that you are those who hear these messages. You are the leaders. You are the teachers, each in your own way. So don't go and think, oh, this is what a leader does. Find what a leader does within you. This is what a teacher does. Find what a teacher does within you. How do you lead? How do you teach others? Through what means do you use? Do you stand in front of a group of people, or do you live by your values and standards that you know to be your truth, and you know to be the truth for everyone? And again, you might say, well, I don't want to impose mine on others, because this is something that is throughout the community, that you are all what we'll call evolved beings. Know that you are not to impose your will upon another. You understand that. None of you really do. None of you want to do that. So many of you hold yourselves back for fear of imposing your will through your words or even your actions on another. And we want you to take a look at that. Are you imposing your will? You do not want to impose your will. It won't work anyway. That's why tyranny is an imposition of someone else's will on many people. Even it can last for a little while, but it doesn't last forever. Why? Because you cannot do that. So those of you who are aware of the social conditions that are going on your planet and have that understanding, you want to be able to be that. So you be that with as much confidence and certainty that you can muster. And it's not easy, because when you are not in your physical form, and you're here with us, and your consciousness is here with us, you get all of this. You have no fear. You understand your role very well, but you still have to awaken into that physical form that is still experiencing what you call the valley of forgetfulness. Not to the degree that it was decades ago, but you're still experiencing it because of the many sessions the information that has been in many of the sessions that we have done with you. So we're not going to reiterate that, but you're still dealing with that. And you know that each one of you has a responsibility to yourself and to your community. We include your family in that. When we say community, we include your friends, but we include the greater idea of community. You've each been strategically placed for that reason. So your ideas that, or feelings that maybe you're not doing enough or you're not doing anything, and what purpose do you have? We would really like to ask you to set those aside and just trust this whole process. Oh, and you say, oh, we're supposed to just trust the process. Well, in a way you are, because you know. So we're not saying to blindly accept anything. You must question everything, but filtering those questions that you have about your earthly existence through the heart, through that process, not through the mind. The mind will give you the answer, but through the heart. It originates in the heart, and it will have a feel to it, and you will know. You will know, or you may have other ways in which this information will come to you, but know that you will know. So hang in there, because a lot of what we see, again, we don't like to really predict because we don't want to condition you, because it's a form of conditioning when anyone comes through and predicts something. But what we are seeing is starting to be created on your planet. It's already happening, is that energy of doubt is being reinforced through a lot of different means. The ways in which the dark does control the planet. Remember, they've been doing this for a long time. So their methods of controlling the planet are being made aware to all of you, and therefore you will be experiencing them. What we mean is when you go through the experience of seeing how you've been manipulated by being manipulated, you understand it. And therefore, you are able to transcend that level of manipulation. And that is what's going on right now. You are transcending the levels of manipulation by having the experience of the manipulation. So by continuing to connect from the heart to Creator, Source, God, know that, not with your mind, know it with your heart. Keep that presence and radiate that out. That is who you really are. That is what you're bringing. So when doubt comes in for you, or you may be attacked, not physically, but attacked for what you believe, even if you're not speaking your truth. We're coming on that time here where the revelations of how vast and complex the manipulation is on your planet, and what the true nature of your existence is on that planet, and who's really in charge, and not so much who, how they are controlling everything. That is all being revealed. That is coming forth. But in order for it to be revealed, it needs to be experienced. You've been experiencing it, but now because you have a higher understanding, you are more connected to the higher realms, those in particular that we are speaking to right now. The leaders, the teachers, those that are you might call yourselves even activists in some way. Those of you are more connected to source energy in your conscious state as you go through your 3D existence, okay? It's as if you're not quite fully evolved to the 5-dimensional essence that you truly are. That's in the process. Your physical body, we spoke to you about that, is evolving. What you are able to do and offer to the world at this time is that presence, that higher vibrational presence. So you are going through a 3rd-dimensional reality more as a 5-dimensional being than as a 3rd-dimensional being. But you're not fully there yet. And I think you all know this, and you're nodding your heads going, yes, Sornia, we know this. And that is wonderful. And if you didn't know it, now you do know it. So keep going the way. Stay on track. Don't fear any sort of attacks on you. They're all meant to discourage you. And it's a time of doubt. It's a time of doubt. So that's the biggest force that you'll be dealing with, the strongest, we should say, strongest force you will be dealing with in the coming time period. We don't know how long it will last, but that experience, that force of doubt, can create some very difficult times on your planet. We're not sure that that's going to happen. Again, how much is what we see potentially evolving going to actually come to fruition? We can't say until it happens, or maybe a day or two before in your reality. That is why you are always reminded of the fact that you are in charge. You're in charge. So what do we mean by that? That you, with your presence and your connection and radiating that out and being that is what will kind of anchor, not kind of, it will truly anchor that truth into your world. So those of you that know you're getting feelings of, I need to do this, or I feel like I'm drawn to go here, or I feel this, that, or the other thing, stay with that. That's your truth. But you want to examine it. Is it your truth of who you really are? Or is it something that's being part of your human experience? Is it a truth you've adapted through human experience, or is it a truth that comes through from the divine? You need to figure that out. And what's really important, stand your ground, but be the compassionate teachers, leaders, activists. Be that compassion. It will be very important because there is the potential here. We're hoping that there will be some very difficult scenarios being revealed to the general population. If this occurs, you will have everyone reacting from their place of how they understand it. And that's why we are, it's not forewarning, but making you aware. If you start to see this, and it could be in your own families, or it could be in your community, could be globally, you want to be aware so that you can be that beacon of hope, you can be that beacon of light for others. You are all well equipped. You have advanced yourselves amazingly in this time that has been so difficult, but very, very beneficial for all of you. Because most of you, we know this, feel confident with what you know to be your truth. You aren't easily swayed from that feeling that you know about who you really are. And you are also standing and expressing that with gentleness, but firmness at the same time. And you know yourselves to be the teachers, leaders, activists, and such that is important to this next chapter in the awakening of all of humanity. So thank you as always very much. So we wanted to just touch on another topic here, somewhat along these lines. It's something that is going to be coming up for you. Many of you are probably already kind of noticing it in your world, and that is your attachment to your physical third dimensional existence. And what we mean by that is your material attachments, your emotional attachments in terms of your relationships with people. These two are primary here. Basically, think of this time, along with doubt, you are releasing, maybe releasing isn't quite the word, understanding your attachment that is keeping you intertwined and entangled with some of the third dimensional experiences that you are looking to free yourselves from. Because ultimately, for you as a eternal being having a human experience, your next level of evolution requires you to understand how your attachments have created your existence, in a sense, how you feel about things, how you act, you are attached to, say, your car. We'll use that. This is your car. Without your car, you can't function. So you need to have your car, and that attachment to that means of travel. And most of you are going, well, of course, we're in third dimensional reality. I need to be that. But how are you attached to it? How are you attached to certain relationships or all of your relationships? Are you able to still be the God-like divine presence that you are if you lose all of that? If you lose all of those that you know and love, if they were all to disappear and then you lost all of your material possessions, would you still believe and feel your connection to Source? Now you might be going, you mean I got to lose everything in order to feel that? That's not what we are saying. There's not benefit for everyone in losing their material possessions. You need the material possessions to make it through. We're saying to understand your attachment to them. Are these attachments to the material world and your relationships what keep you going? Because if they are, and you understand that it is keeping you entangled into that third dimensional reality, you have something that you are afraid to lose or afraid that it changes, because then it will leave you feeling a certain way that you don't know if you can handle that. So there will be losses for many. Not so much of a tragedy or a difficulty for those who are hearing these messages. And that's why we wanted to bring them forth. Many of you are already have for a while less attachment to your possessions, even to relationships. And you might be saying, well, that's a bad thing. It's really not, because your connection to these individuals that you may be losing, whether it be distance because you do not see the same, or they pass on, multitude of reasons, right? You are still connected to them no matter what. And this is what is occurring and will be coming forth more. Do you understand? And you do. We're saying this more for you to help instruct you to understand what your role is in assisting others who do not understand, who have that attachment, who have those attachments, we should say, to the many things. So do you understand why you are currently receiving this information? And do you feel confident in teaching this to others? This is kind of where it's going. So the coming time is going to bring in the possibility of doubt. Not the possibility, it's doubt. Doubt is there. So take that away. Not the possibility. Doubt will be coming. You may not experience it the way the general public does, but you may be attacked because of this doubt and uncertainty that the general population is going to be feeling. They don't know where to put their faith and trust. It's becoming more and more apparent. You all do, but you may be attacked by them. That and your attachments to anything in the physical plane that causes you to fear losing it. Everything. And many of you are probably saying, oh, I've already been experiencing this. And we say, yes, let yourself experience it in whatever way that you are, because this is the next move that you are making. How can you experience freedom if you have such deep attachments that you can't let them go? You all know that those people that you are connected to, your souls are all one. We are all one. We are all connected, and you never lose anything. In fact, when someone leaves the physical plane with their physical form and their consciousness leaves their body, you are more attached to them at that time than when they were in the physical, because they're free. They're free of the the limitations, not all. Again, that's another complex but important topic that we will have to go into at some point, of what happens in the afterlife, because that's even changing. How beautiful is that? There's so much. We so appreciate everything you are all doing, and you know that. We tell it to you all the time. We love you so very much. Keep sending us your questions. Keep pondering what we share with you. Question everything we share with you. You must, so that you understand. Okay, we think we got our message across. We just like to have this possibility of chatting with you, so sometimes we get long-winded. Know that we really love you. You love us. We are all one. Things are really progressing in such a beautiful way. Hold to that and share that with others, no matter what difficulties you all face. We are Sornia. Goodbye.